Hey guys, Izzy from Flux. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel. So today I want to quickly share a handful of tools with you guys that I think are, number one, super useful in terms of both your design and your client management, but also they're completely free or cost as much as a sandwich or two. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into this one. Okay, so the very first one that I wanted to share with you guys is none other than Flux's own Notion Web Designer Hub. And I'm not sharing this just because it's a Flux product, because, I mean, first of all, it's free, so there's that. But also, I think this is a genuinely super valuable resource to have on your side. It's an all-encompassing tool, allows you to, first of all, collaborate with clients, but also provides you every single step-by-step, every single template that you'd need to go from lead stage to end of project. So let's just run through an example here. I want you just staring at this screen the whole time. So this is where you start. And of course we have a little tutorial here that you could watch from the big homie. But let's just give you the quick rundown. So say you landed a new client, or actually you're just talking to a potential client. Then you're gonna hit the new here and hit client template. Of course, the client needs a name, so let's say our client is Taco Bell. We're balling, and then you've got the option. So if you're still in the lead stage, then you're going to hit lead stage process. And so the beautiful thing here is you have a template for every single stage of the lead process. So let's say you're on the first call, you've got every question that you'd need to ask on that first call. You can write down the answers and refer back to this later. And same thing with the discovery session. And once you have to throw together a proposal, you can estimate that using this. So really, really good stuff. And so once that lead becomes a client, an actual client, you can jump into the actual client dashboard. Of course, you'll rename project name here. And this is where you'll be collaborating with the client. And so the beauty of this is client will have visibility into what you're currently working on, right? And then what's next, see all the tasks that are to come. And of course, you have a checklist and a step-by-step for every project component. So your brand strategy, your website goals and objectives, market research, user persona, all these things, all the things that you should be doing, you have a checklist or step-by-step for. So really, really valuable stuff. Make sure to take advantage of this. I know that we shared this like a couple months back, not even, maybe just a month or so back. And we got a really, really good response. But I know that slips through the cracks for some of you. So if you haven't already, go check this out. The link will be in the description. Let's get into the second resource. So second, I think this is more of a resource than a tool. This is nngroup.com, Nielsen Norman Group, which is this is the, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the NCBI, where all of the medical studies sort of live, and the sort of health and fitness stuff. But this is the equivalent for design. This is where all the evidence-based stuff's at. And, you remember and do things better. You perform better when you know why you're doing things. And so this website will provide you with all of the whys, right? And a lot of times you'll know the why, but maybe you don't know how to articulate it very, very well, or as well as you could, or, maybe the client just needs that link. And so this will allow you to sort of articulate yourself better when you're justifying your design decisions to the client. And so I want to run through a little example here. This is really common, where the client will be like super conversion focused, right? And they'll want, for example, super random example, they'll want the user to provide some sort of information, either their contact info, their email address, before viewing any sort of content. Like, let's convert the user ASAP, right? And of course, you need to provide value, or at least some sort of transparency, before you ask their user for their email address, right? And so it's not always easy to articulate why we need to provide value or some sort of transparency, or provide content before we ask for the email address. And so what you can do is you could link the, this article from NN Group, which goes over quite a few things related to credibility in web design. But if you look at, for example, the second section here, upfront disclosure, a few studies are cited in terms of, why you need to provide content or show the user content before you ask for their address and stuff. So, example, here's a little snippet I want to read out here. When sites, and of course this is all based on studies, these articles are written based on studies. So when sites omitted basic information, they were almost immediately ruled out of consideration in favor of more upfront sites. One user spent only 35 seconds browsing the cleaning website, Home Cleans, before she declared, I would definitely not use Home Cleans because they don't state the rate here and they want us to actually write to them. So I feel they're not open enough. So if you're working with a reasonable business owner, a reasonable client, then, showing them this kind of stuff should be enough to convince them. And if, you may not even have to show them, this will just help you sort of articulate your justifications. And yeah, I think it's just an interesting, even outside of the freelance realm, I just love browsing this website full of really interesting studies. So let's jump into the third one. Here we have a btw.so's inspiration resource here. And what's unique about this one, a lot of us will sort of resort to awards.com or Dribbble or Behance, whatever the case may be, for inspiration, but often we're designing section by section, right? And the beautiful thing about this resource is you can get inspiration by section. So say I'm trying to construct or design a wireframe or hi-fi design for the testimonial section of a landing page or whatever, and I can just head over to the testimonials category here, and I've got like super specific inspiration. And so I'm not wasting time. It's a huge time saver. I absolutely love this resource. So yeah, it's super useful. So let's say you're designing the product section. Bam, you've got the product category with product only inspiration, which is again a massive time saver. So do check this one out. Again, it'll be in the description. And yeah, let's get on to the very last one here. Okay, so this last one is probably my favorite by far. I know it's completely unrelated to the others. They're all in different categories, but this is one of my favorite tools for sure. And it's called SIP. This one's for my Mac users out there. And it's basically an all-in-one color tool. And it's an app for the Mac. And it lives up here in the this top bar. And the beautiful thing is there's just so much that it does. And it's so versatile. So let's say I want to copy the hex code for this blue. I just hover over, click, I've got the hex code copied. I can also use it in some other app, right? I can just come here, hover over, bam. And little thing, I don't know if you noticed, but when you hover over a color, it'll give that color a bit of a name. I don't know if that's the real name. I don't know how that works, but see, that's crayon blue. You've got violet, electric purple. So that's quite fun. And again, you just click to copy. So another really cool thing is if you hit the arrow, you'll notice you can save brand colors, right? So I've got the Flux brand colors here, which I can click on any of them if I quickly need the hex code for that color copied. I've got my personal brand colors, right? Just click and it's copied. You've got your color history, which any of these can be clicked to copy. And so, it's just so quick to use. Like, let's say I'm in Figma, I'm playing around and I want this color. I want to use this color. I can just quickly click on that. Bam, apply it to this text. Super easy. And then another thing, so you have a sort of built-in contrast checker here for accessibility, of course. So let's say I want to check the contrast between this blue and that light purple in the back there. So I can just hit that blue, and then background, and then it'll give you a contrast rating, which is really great. It's really neat to have all of these little things built into one color tool. I use this at least 10 to 15 times a day, every single day. So I think I actually shared this one before in a previous video, but I had to share it again. But yeah, I was itching to share all of these with you guys. I hope they were, I hope they seem helpful to you. I hope that you hadn't heard of a couple of these at least. Let me know which one you'll be trying out. Otherwise, I'll talk to you soon. Peace.